Welcome, connoisseurs of the untold and seekers of the hidden truth. You have entered the sanctuary of anything you want, the only channel on the digital landscape that refuses to accept the superficial silence of the celebrity world. Here, we listen to the whispers that echo behind closed doors and decode the silence that screams louder than words. Before we unravel the complex tapestry of tonight's story, I invite you to anchor yourself in our community. Subscribe to ensure you never miss a revelation, press the like button to signal your presence, and for those who wish to walk deeper into the labyrinth with us, I urge you to click the join button. Your membership is the key that unlocks the full depth of our storytelling. Tonight, we are dissecting a rupture that has sent shockwaves through the hidden corridors of the Turkish entertainment industry. We are looking at Yaman. Not the invincible warrior of Sandokan, but a man stripped of his armor, sitting at a dinner table, confessing a truth that has been poisoning his peace. After months of stoic silence, the dam has broken. A confession made in a hushed voice has triggered a digital war, bringing with it accusations of betrayal, cryptic messages written in the dead of night, and the inevitable return of a name that refuses to fade, Demet Özdemir. What happens when love becomes a cage? What happens when silence is interpreted as the ultimate act of treason? Stay with us, here on Anything You Want, as we step into the storm. To understand the magnitude of this separation, we must first transport ourselves to the scene of the confession. It was not a press conference, nor was it a prepared statement released through a publicist. It was a private gathering, an intimate dinner intended to be a respite from the chaos of fame. Sources present at the table describe an atmosphere that shifted from convivial to somber in the span of a single heartbeat. Yaman, a man who has spent recent weeks in self-imposed isolation, ostensibly focusing on his grueling physical training, was present in body, yet his spirit seemed miles away. According to witnesses, the conversation at the table lulled, and Can, staring intently at the liquid swirling in his glass, broke his long-held silence. His voice was not raised in anger. Rather, it carried the terrifying calm of a man who has reached the absolute limit of his endurance. "I made the right decision breaking up with Sara," he murmured, the words falling like heavy stones into a deep well. "Because there were certain things that were consuming my life." This was not a casual remark. It was the sound of a man exhaling after holding his breath for months. Those at the table were reportedly stunned into silence, for this was the first time the actor had allowed the cracks in his facade to show. He spoke of consumption, of a relationship that had ceased to be a partnership and had become a parasitic force, draining his mental energy and distracting him from the monumental professional challenges he faces. It revealed a Yaman we rarely see, not the conqueror, but the survivor, trying to claw his way back to mental clarity. I pause here to ask you, the insightful viewers of Anything You Want, can you feel the weight of his exhaustion? Have you ever been in a relationship that felt like it was consuming your life rather than enhancing it? Share your stories in the comments below, let us create a space for truth. But what was the catalyst? What turned a romance into a burden? Deep dive investigations into the timeline suggest that this breakup was not a sudden accident, but a slow-motion collision that had been inevitable for months. However, the spark that finally ignited the powder keg was, unsurprisingly in this modern age, a digital transgression. Allegations from the inner circle suggest that a single social media post by Sara became the line in the sand. It is rumored that she shared a photograph. An image deemed intrusive, unnecessary, or perhaps too revealing of a life he is desperate to keep private. For Can, who views his privacy as a fortress to be guarded, this was not just a photo, it was a breach of trust. He reportedly confided in friends, "I could not stay with someone who did not care about my life, my work, or my boundaries." Here lies the fundamental conflict, a clash between two diametrically opposed philosophies of existence. On one side, we have Can, seeking the sanctity of silence and control. On the other, we have Sara, who allegedly felt suffocated by these very restrictions. Her inner circle paints a picture of a woman stifled, quoted as saying, "He could be too controlling at times. I felt like I was being restricted." It is the classic tragedy of the free spirit meeting the guarded soul, a relationship doomed by the very intensity that created it. If Can's confession was the earthquake, Sara's reaction was the tsunami that followed. The moment his private words leaked into the public sphere, as they always do, the eyes of the world turned to Sara Bluma. Initially, she maintained a dignified silence, but as we know, in the world of heartbreak, silence is often just the calm before the scream. First came the jab. Some people take a long time to make decisions. Some make the wrong decisions. But sooner or later, everyone gets what they deserve. It was a sharp, karmic warning, a suggestion that Can's right decision would eventually haunt him. But the true bombshell, the cryptic message that set the tabloids on fire, arrived at the witching hour, midnight. On a stark black background, written in white letters like a ghostly accusation, Sara posted, "Betrayal is sometimes not an act. It's silence." This sentence is a labyrinth of meaning. Was she accusing him of emotional abandonment? Was she suggesting that by shutting down, by refusing to communicate, by withdrawing into his isolation, he had betrayed the partnership? It reframed the entire narrative. Can sees his silence as self-preservation, Sara sees it as treason. It sparked a furious debate across social media platforms, dividing fans into two camps, those who defend Can's right to solitude, and those who empathize with Sara's feeling of being shut out. This story is complex, layered, and deeply human. If you appreciate the way we unravel these narratives here on Anything You Want, please take a moment to like this video. And if you want to support our team as we dig for these details, hitting that join button is the best way to do it. Your support keeps the lights on and the stories flowing. And then, inevitably, like a ghost that haunts the corridors of Yaman's history, the name Demet Özdemir resurfaced. It is a phenomenon that defies logic. No matter who enters Can's life, the shadow of his former co-star and alleged flame looms large. Demet, who has spent years trying to disentangle her narrative from his, is reportedly furious at being dragged back into the mud of this new breakup. Whispers from gossip circles suggest that Demet has expressed her frustration to close friends, stating firmly, "I don't want my name involved in these matters." Yet, she added a cryptic addendum that has fueled 1,000 theories, but some truths will come out sooner or later. What truths? Is she referring to the nature of Can's intense personality? Is she alluding to the patterns that repeat in his relationships? Her words have acted as gasoline on the fire. Social media users are already connecting the dots, suggesting that Sara's experience of a controlling partner mirrors the rumors that circulated during the Demet era. The question echoing through the forums is tantalizing: is a new chapter beginning, or are we simply rereading the old pages of a book we thought was closed? To understand if Can is truly the villain Sara implies, or the victim he claims to be, we must look at his professional environment. Words allegedly spoken by a director who has worked with Can for years provide a chilling context to his tiredness. "He was very tired when he came to our last meeting," the director reportedly confided. "In our conversations, I felt that his relationship was mentally overwhelming him." This corroborates Can's dinner table confession. It paints a picture of a man whose romantic life was bleeding into his professional focus, creating a storm beneath his calm exterior. Another actor noted, "He tries to appear strong on the outside, but inside he's in a storm." This is the tragedy of Can Yaman. He is the alpha, the sigma, the strong man. He is not allowed to be weak. He is not allowed to say, "I am overwhelmed." And so, when he finally does, it comes out as a breakup, as a severing of ties, because he knows no other way to survive the pressure. Now, the dust is beginning to settle, but the atmosphere remains heavy with unresolved grief. Sara Bluma has retreated. The angry texts have stopped. In their place, her social media has become a gallery of tranquility. Sunsets, the sea, the vast empty sky. Followers call it the calm after the storm, but journalists see it as a warning sign. Leaks from her inner circle reveal a woman in deep mourning. She has reportedly silenced her phone, cutting off contact with the world. A friend recounts a heartbreaking confession Sara made: "I'm keeping my distance, not to forget, but to avoid remembering. Because some memories aren't completely erased, they're just buried." These are not the words of a woman who has moved on, these are the words of a woman who is haunted. It suggests that despite the betrayal and the anger, the love ran deep. She is hinting at secrets she refuses to tell, allegedly saying, "I won't tell you certain things because if I did, you'd all change your minds." She holds the keys to the castle, yet she refuses to open the door, at least for now. And what of Can? The man who started it all with a confession? He has retreated even further. Sources say he was alarmed by how quickly his private words became public headlines. He is now engaged in a significant internal reckoning. He has reportedly issued a directive to his representatives: his private life is to be a forbidden zone. He wants to redefine the boundaries. He is building a fortress around his heart and his career, demanding that future promotional strategies minimize any focus on his romantic status. He is trying to erase the lover from his public persona and leave only the actor. But as we know, in the world of fame, the harder you try to hide, the more people want to see. We are left with a tableau of three figures frozen in a dramatic standoff. Yaman, the exhausted king retreating into his castle, convinced he made the right choice to save his sanity. Sara, the wounded muse, posting sunsets to cover the darkness of her betrayal. And Özdemir, the unwilling witness, watching from the sidelines as history seems to repeat itself. The question remains, has this story truly ended, or has it simply been postponed until the next season of their lives? Is silence truly a betrayal, or is it the only way to survive a love that consumes you? We want to hear your verdict. Was Can right to prioritize his mental peace, or was his silence a cruelty to Sara? Let us know in the comments below. If this deep dive into the hidden emotional wars of the stars kept you on the edge of your seat, please like the video, subscribe to Anything You Want, and hit that join button to become a part of our inner circle. We will be back with the next truth, the next secret, and the next story that no one else dares to tell. Until then, remember that even the brightest stars cast the longest shadows.